Hello everybody and welcome finally to yet another NuclearCraft video. This is just an update video. Sorry I haven't been on video for a while, just haven't really got around to it. I've had plenty of time to make a video, I've been working on the mod quite a lot, but I just haven't made a video for some reason, so I should probably do that at some point. There's quite a big backlog of stuff I need to do. I need to show off some add-ons that people have made, some really good add-ons actually that I've got installed at the moment, namely QMD and Trinity. I got something called script add-ons to have a look at. Script add-ons are a new thing in the latest version of NuclearCraft, version 2.0.4.0, and I've got a video coming up straight after this about how to install script add-ons and what they are. I've also got to show off some generators, some like reactor bots and generators that can like generate reactor designs. I've got some planners to show off, some actual programs, both in the browser and also standalone for helping to design fission reactors and turbines, which is really, really cool. And I also need to do some other videos about all sorts of random stuff. I can't remember now. I'm sure there's other stuff that I need to do. There's a big oh yeah, quantum computers. That's right. I need to do quantum computers as well. I've actually got this set up over here. I'm not actually sure this had anything to do with the video that I was going to record on quantum computers. I think this is just a random setup. So this doesn't mean anything to you. Then don't worry. This is just I think this was just to test out a particular circuit, a particular quantum circuit, just to as like a test to see whether or not the actual maths of the internals was working properly. But yeah, I still need to do a series of videos on them actually, because they're quite complicated for people who have absolutely no clue how quantum computers work, which there's no reason why you should know why they work unless you've specifically looked into it. So yeah, I need to do a series of videos on them. And I think, yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say, really. Oh yes, there was actually another thing that I wanted to say in this video. It's based on the Molten salt reactor video that I did however long ago. I built a molten salt reactor. Here it is over here. This reactor was built, and some people said fairly, to be honest. They said it's cool that it's easier than it used to be, and you know, it's not like have to like do this ridiculous amount of maths to work out how much coolant and stuff I need, and hopefully the heat exchanger won't be as bad either. But at the same time, it's pretty similar. Designing the MSRs is pretty similar to designing the solid fuel reactors. And I get that, that's fair enough, and a lot of people in the Discord server said that as well. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to completely change the molten salt reactor and make it completely overhaul, but I will do something a bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'll just load up an MSR here, and I'll get some vessels to show what I want to do. At the moment, vessels work exactly the same way as cells, basically, in solid fuel reactors, i.e. they're all independent, and they all have their own flux levels, and they all need to have a criticality factor that they need to reach based on the fuel they hold, etc., etc., etc. What I'm going to do, and this is sort of something I haven't really thought out that much, we'll have to see whether it works or not, hopefully it's quite fun, is that any vessels that are adjacent to each other that have the same filter, so either they're both unfiltered or they share the same filter, will share fuel. So they'll actually share fuel, and it'll be like there's a sort of like a box that's like, as if there's no wall between these two vessels, and they'll share the flux that they receive, and the criticality factor will just be the sum of the criticality factors that they require. So, for example, you could have like a ring or something of vessels, and then have like heavy water coming off them like angles here. So you can have like heavy water only going to these ones, or like graphite or whatever, only going to some of these vessels. And then they will share these 8 vessels. The total criticality factor for the fuel will go up by a factor of 8, but then also they will share all the flux. So all of these vessels will like share all their stats and like work together, and that might make for some really interesting reactor designs. It will make some totally different from the sort of ones that appear in cells. So you can even have like a whole cube or something of vessels that all work together. So it's like 27 vessels all sharing flux. Just like that, and you could have like all sorts of crazy neutron flux setups like that, or something like this. I don't know, something random like that, and then a whole other block of vessels here that like share the flux between them. It might make things like cryotherm a lot easier to use, because you could just like put cryotherm like all the way down here. But to be honest, cryotherm isn't used that much in the solid fuel reactors, so maybe that'd be okay. I haven't really tested the heatsink rules or the coolant heaters rules with that system, but it might be quite fun, so we'll see how it works. That will be probably, if it does happen and it does work properly and it all works out, will be in the next major version, so 2.0.5.0 of overhaul, and then I'll do a video on that. the exact details, but I pretty much went through basically how it worked there. Share, flux, and sum over the criticality factor. That's pretty much how it would work. So if you think that's a cool idea, then let me know. Hopefully that will spice up molten reactors a little bit. And in a similar way, pebble bed reactors would have similar mechanics again. It would have like the multi-block, and you have the flux going between the whatever. But then with pebble beds, the difference will be that actually fueling up the cells or the chambers. I think I'm going to call them pebble bed chambers. Actually fueling them up will be more difficult because you won't be able to use ports. You'll have to actually get inside there with like hoppers and hoppers and item ducts or whatever, and actually get the fuel in there. That'll be more difficult. And also the cooling system will be different. Instead of using like heat sinks or coolant heaters, it will be using gas cooling, and then a sort of direct conversion to energy rather than steam. So I think that's probably the best way of doing it, is having all the reactors have like similarities in the basic fundamental concepts, but then the details different, simple differences, but differences that actually like fundamentally change like the way people design them. So that should be quite fun. And there's also other things I want to add to reactors as well that I've been discussing recently, such as decay heat and neutron poison. And we want to make sure that they're easy to understand, not a massive pain to deal with, but something that still actually affects like the way that, in particular, the way that you can turn off and turn on your reactors. So, and the way that it like affects the efficiency of them when you're turning them on and turning them off. And I think also one thing that I need to ride on a little bit, at the end of the day, this is modding, and you do want to get like decent number of people playing a mod and interest in it. With Chernobyl and everyone having watched Chernobyl, obviously things like neutron poison and so on, that sort of buzzword, obviously people will like. So that might be quite fun to play on. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. As you can see here, there's actually some changes, like the turbines look a bit different like they used to. They have this sort of like exponential size happening now. I need to start doing maybe some videos like I used to for the pre-overhaul builds, where I like go through the changes between versions, because it's not like the first couple of versions of Overhaul now. I'll still do like spotlights when like big features come out, like whole new multi-blocks and whatever. But I should maybe also do like update videos about like things that have been tweaked and changed, like I used to. So I'll get back into the rhythm of doing that as well. But yeah, I think that's everything. So as I say, there's a video coming up about script add-ons, which is a new thing, really exciting for the community. Actually, I think I really look forward to what people do with them. Be really, really useful tool, I think, for pack makers in particular, for adding new content to the game. New Nucleocraft content. So we'll see what people think of that when we get to it. So until then, have a good one. I'll see you next time.